It's Ask the Mayor on 2 Wants to Know. So Greensboro Mayor Nancy Vaughan is with us to talk about all kinds of city issues and to answer your questions. That's right. You get to send in questions for her to answer live on TV. So all you have to do is text in your question, 336-379-5775. All the questions are anonymous, but you get your question answered in real time. All right, first and foremost, let's talk about something that happened just in the last couple of days.
Yes.
And that is the start of the hub at that former Glenwood United Methodist Church.
We are very excited about that. It is one of the first neighborhood hubs that we will be doing. We purchased the church. The church was very intentional about what the church would be used for. And they were a neighborhood hub, and they wanted to continue to be a neighborhood hub. We are moving neighborhood development into that building. And it'll be great outreach for the people of Glenwood and beyond. And it will be a model for future neighborhoods.
Okay, so what's going to happen there in that church that's now going to be turned into that city area?
So they will have, people in the neighborhood will have the opportunity to come in and learn about programs that neighborhood development offers and that the city offers. There will be a meeting space for the neighborhood. And some of the area around it will be developed by Habitat for new housing.
Okay, and we expect that to be up and running by?
I think in the spring.
Okay, all right. So let's also talk about Greensboro having a new real-time crime center.
Yes.
So let's talk about what is a real-time crime center, and then how does the city plan to use that to help stop crime?
It is. It's a very exciting development. It's one that is just in the process of going live. Winston-Salem has one. If another city's doing something good, we don't mind stealing the idea. But what it enables the police department to monitor about 2,000 to 3,000 cameras. So if you own a business, if you're on a main road and you would like the police department to have access to your exterior cameras, we can make that happen. You know, obviously they can't monitor 3,000 cameras at a time, but if they have to go back and look at an event, they can. If we know that something is coming up, then yes, that can be monitored. There are a lot of companies that I've reached out to who are experiencing crime right around their locations, and I am encouraging them to become a part of the Real-Time Crime Center.
All right, and speaking, since we're on the topic of crime, I mean, we just did some stats in the last half an hour or so, 60 homicides here in the city of Greensboro. Greensboro's not alone, though. The triad is all over the place. We're seeing all kinds of crime, all kinds of shooting. Is the Cure Violence program helping with that? What is helping with that? What do we do about all of these stats?
And it isn't just the triad, it is everywhere, unfortunately. I believe that the Cure Violence program is making a difference. It's hard to really quantify. It's hard to say that something didn't happen. So that is a bit of a challenge when you ask, you know, number-wise, what has Cure Violence done? It's hard to say, well, they prevented something when it didn't happen. We have a number of other initiatives. We've got the Office of Community Safety, which is reaching out with Peace on Purpose to neighborhoods and communities. As we talked about at our council meeting last night, we cannot police our way out of this. It is truly going to take neighborhoods. It is going to take our religious establishments. It's going to take our nonprofits, but everybody is going to play a role in this. And you know, one thing that I think everybody agrees on is that if you see something, say something. You can always reach out to Crime Stoppers. It is anonymous. I believe their number is 373-1000. They have helped us solve a lot of crimes. And so, you know, we're looking at other ways. We all know that we are low on police officers. Again, that is not just Greensboro. We did give a significant raise with the last budget. I think they're second in the area. Then when you include the benefits, I think we're first in the area. We've added take-home cars. Next week, they're going to be unveiling the civilian traffic enforcement, which was a bill that the city of Greensboro really pushed in the legislature. Now it has become statewide. Our BHeart team, who is reaching out to people when 911 gets a phone call, if they think that it's somebody who is having a mental health issue or an addiction issue, the police go out with them. But once the scene is secured, then they hand it over to a clinician. So we
in
are
the hopes of de-escalating what's going on.
Yes, so we are looking at a number of different ways to approach public safety.
And you said it's going to take the whole neighborhoods, communities, all that kind of thing. You are going into the neighborhoods tonight, in fact, with police.
Yes, I'm actually doing a ride-along this evening. You know, anybody can do a ride-along. You can call down at the city, and I find ride-alongs to be one of the most valuable things that I can do. It allows me to talk to the officers who are out on the street. Actually, the whole idea for the civilian traffic enforcement came from a ride-along, and it was a ride-along I had with John Thompson. He was not the police chief at the time, but we were doing a ride-along and talking about what are things that we can do to take the strain off the police department. And he mentioned about this program that he had heard about. So we championed it up at the legislature, and now it's actually in reality, but that was because of a ride-along.
And you said anybody can do one of these.
Anybody can do one of them.
Okay, so then you can call the police department and set that up. All right, last thing I want to talk about before we head to break is the loose leaf collection, because it's changing. So City of Greensboro folks, the way that you put your leaves out to the curb is going to change in the next year.
Yes, so this fall, it remains unchanged, but what you just said is really key. When you bring your leaves to the curb, they're supposed to be to the curb and not in the street.
And so there's a list right now that you're looking at, the policy change overview. And so you see that starting beginning March 1st, residents can only use biodegradable paper bags for your yard waste. There will be no plastic bags accepted.
Correct.
All right, and so the vacuum trucks, those are no longer going to be used either. And then beginning in the summer, and then what you'll see for next leaf season is that you've got 15 bags per household, and then we're not using those vacuum trucks any longer.
No, but every household will be getting a new toter. And they're pretty big, they hold a lot, and the leaves don't all fall at once. So that is an option for people as well. You know, I think we've talked about this in the past. One issue that I had with loose leaf was really that it was becoming a safety hazard, and that people were not bringing their leaves to the curb. They were putting them in the street. And that really is a danger for our public safety officials, people walking their dogs, kids out riding bikes, runners, bikers. And many times that they covered the sewer grate, so it was adding to
flooding issues.
So really, since that, people weren't doing it the right way, to me was a deciding factor.
All right, and that is going to change after this fall and this early spring for next year. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We're taking your questions when we come back.